Sometimes, love doesn't arrive with fireworks or dramatic declarations. It doesn't always come wrapped in bold confessions or loud gestures. In fact, some of the most genuine forms of love are quiet, expressed not through words, but through presence, attention, and consistency. When a man truly cares for you and sees you as part of his future, he may not always say it directly. Instead, he reveals it in subtle, silent ways, the kind of gestures that speak straight to the heart, even when his lips remain still. In today's fast-paced world, filled with fleeting connections and surface-level conversations, many women find themselves wondering, is he serious about me? Or does he truly see a future with me? Or am I just a passing phase? The truth is, while some men might struggle to express their feelings openly, their actions rarely lie. Love is a way of showing itself through choices, habits, and quiet moments that speak volumes. You don't always need grand words to know how someone feels. Often, it's in the way he remembers the little things about you. It's how he makes space for you in his life decisions. It's the way he listens, supports, adjusts, and quietly builds a life with you at its center. These silent signs may be easy to overlook at first, especially when you're used to equating love with loud romance. But with time, you'll realize that these are the foundations of something much stronger, the kind of love that lasts. The following list explores 15 of these silent but powerful signs that a man is not only falling for you, he's already thinking about forever. These are the quiet ways he tells you, I see you, I value you, and I want a future with you. Whether you're in a new relationship or have been together for a while, paying attention to these subtle behaviors can give you a clearer understanding of where his heart truly lies. Because real love doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it just shows up, stays consistent, and silently says, you're the one I choose, again and again. Let's dive into the 15 silent signs he sees you as his future. 1. He includes you in long-term plans. When a man sees you as part of his future, one of the clearest yet quietest signs is that he includes you in his long-term plans. This doesn't always mean dramatic declarations or grand gestures. Often, it's in the little ways he naturally folds you into the vision he has for his life, his dreams, his routines, and the years ahead. Without announcing it outright, he begins to picture life not just as his own journey, but as something shared with you. He might talk about where he wants to live someday, and you'll notice he says we instead of I. He'll mention trips he wants to take, holidays he imagines spending, or even lifestyle choices he hopes to make, and you're always quietly woven into those scenarios. It's not performative or strategic, it flows naturally, like the future wouldn't feel complete without you there. This kind of inclusion is powerful because it's not based on pressure or obligation. It's a reflection of emotional investment. When a man sees you in his future, he starts to consider how his choices today might affect both of you tomorrow. From saving money more consciously to making career decisions with stability in mind, his planning starts to reflect the life he wants to build with you in it. He might not say, I want to marry you just yet, but he'll talk about someday in a way that makes space for you. Whether it's mentioning the kind of home he wants, the way he sees himself raising a family, or the life rhythm he hopes to have in 10 years, your presence is a quiet constant. That's not an accident. That's his heart already holding space for you long before the words catch up. And that's why being part of his long-term plans, even in subtle ways, is one of the strongest silent signs that he sees you as his future. 2. He saves for things you both want. When a man starts saving for things you both want, it's a deep and quiet act of commitment. It means he's not just living for today, he's planning for a future that includes you. Financial decisions often reveal what truly matters to someone, and if he's choosing to be mindful about spending, budgeting, or even sacrificing short-term pleasures to build something meaningful with you, it's a powerful unspoken message. He may not make a big announcement about it. You might just notice small things, like him suggesting you both skip takeout for a while because he's putting money aside for a trip you talked about. Or he mentions he's looking into savings plans because one day you might want to buy a house together. These aren't just casual gestures. They're indicators that he's thinking beyond the moment, and that he values creating shared experiences and goals with you. It could be something as simple as contributing more to a joint plan, or quietly researching what it would take to build the life you've both hinted at. Whether it's a future home, a business you dreamed of starting, or even just a long-awaited vacation, the fact that he's preparing financially shows that he's already emotionally invested. This kind of saving isn't just about money. It's about effort, foresight, and care. He's telling you, without saying a word, I'm in this with you. And is doing it in the most practical, grounded way, by setting up a life where both of you can thrive. When a man starts saving with us in mind instead of just me, it's not just responsible. It's deeply romantic in its own quiet way. It's a form of love that doesn't always come with fireworks, but one that builds a foundation strong enough to last. 3. He introduces you to important people in his life. When a man introduces you to the important people in his life, his close friends, his family, maybe even his mentors, it's a quiet but powerful sign that he sees you as someone who truly matters. This isn't just about socializing. It's about him opening the inner circle of his world to you, showing you where he comes from, and allowing you to see the people who helped shape him. These introductions are more than casual meetups. They are a form of validation. He's saying, without saying it outright, you belong here. You're part of my world. It's an invitation into a deeper layer of his life, one where vulnerability exists, where bonds are long-standing, and where approval often holds weight. Is letting others know, this is someone I care about, someone I respect, someone I want to keep around. He might start by casually inviting you to a gathering with friends or bringing you along to a family dinner. Over time, those invitations become more intentional. He'll want you to connect with his people, not just as his guest, but as someone who might one day be family too. And when those people start treating you with warmth, asking you questions, including you in traditions, it's often because he's already given them a signal that you're important to him. Men don't always express emotions with words. Sometimes, the way they honor someone is by proximity, by who they let into the core of their lives. So if he's proudly showing you off to those he trusts most, it means he wants you to be known, accepted, and valued in the places that matter to him. It's a quiet way of saying, I see you in my future, and I want the people I love to see it too. 4. He remembers the small details about you. When a man remembers the small details about you, it's one of the clearest silent signs that is paying close attention, not just to your words, but to who you are beneath them. These aren't just casual facts he's storing. They're pieces of you he holds on to because you matter to him. Whether it's how you take your tea, the way you light up when talking about a childhood memory, or the offhand comment you made about a book you loved, he keeps these fragments because they bring him closer to you. You may not even realize you've shared something important, but he'll bring it up weeks later. Maybe he remembers your favorite flower and surprises you with it, or recalls the name of your childhood pet during a random conversation. These aren't grand romantic gestures. They're quiet acts of thoughtfulness that say, I see you. I'm listening. You're not just another passing moment to me. What makes this so meaningful is that it shows presence. In a world full of distractions, remembering the small things means he's mentally and emotionally invested when you speak. He's not just hearing you. He's holding your stories, your quirks, and your preferences in a place of quiet care. Over time, this kind of attention creates emotional safety. You feel known. You feel valued. And all without him needing to say anything dramatic. It's in the way he hands you your favorite snack after a long day or avoids a topic because he remembers it makes you anxious. These are the moments where love lives quietly, not in fireworks, but in consistency. When a man remembers the small details, it means you're not just part of his present. You've already taken root in his memory and, more importantly, in his heart. 5. He supports your personal growth. When a man supports your personal growth, it's a deep and silent sign that he sees you not just as you are, but as everything you're becoming. He doesn't try to hold you back or keep you in a comfortable box that suits him. Instead, he stands beside you as you evolve, cheering you on even when your journey means change, discomfort, or stepping into the unknown. This kind of support doesn't always come with loud praise or public recognition. Often, it's subtle. It's him sending you a link to something he knows aligns with your goals. It's giving you space to study, think, or create without guilt. It's the quiet pride in his eyes when you talk about your dreams, even the ones that might take you far from your current life. It's his willingness to listen when you vent, his encouragement when you doubt yourself, and his belief in you when your own confidence wavers. A man who supports your growth understands that real love doesn't limit, it expands. He doesn't feel threatened by your ambition, your independence, or your evolution. In fact, he's drawn to it. He sees your strength as something to admire, not control. And in those moments where you push yourself further, whether it's in your career, education, creativity, or healing, he's the steady presence who reminds you that you can go even farther. This kind of support can't be faked. It comes from a place of respect. It means he doesn't just love who you are now. He's already invested in the woman you're becoming. And that's one of the most sincere, silent ways a man tells you that you're his future. Because by helping you rise, he's building a future that's stronger, together. 6. He's consistent in his actions and presence. When a man is consistent in his actions and presence, it speaks volumes, even without grand romantic declarations. In a world where so many people show up only when it's convenient, consistency becomes a quiet kind of love language. It's not about perfection or dramatic gestures. It's about reliability, steadiness, and the calm assurance that he's not going anywhere. He texts when he says he will. He follows through on promises, big or small. He shows up when you need him, not just during the exciting moments, but in the ordinary and even difficult ones. You don't have to guess where you stand with him, because his presence is steady. There's no emotional roller coaster, no disappearing acts, no confusion created by mixed signals. He's just there, and that matters more than many realize. Consistency is how trust is built. And when a man shows up day after day, with care, attention, and sincerity, he's telling you, without words, you can count on me. He doesn't have to make loud promises about the future, because his daily behavior already reflects it. He's investing in the relationship not just with words, but with his time, energy, and emotional availability. This kind of stability creates safety. You feel emotionally anchored, free to be yourself without fear of sudden withdrawal or change. And the most beautiful part, he probably doesn't even see this as a strategy. It's just who he is when he's genuinely in it for the long haul. So when a man is consistent, when his love doesn't fluctuate with moods, seasons, or convenience, know that this is his quiet way of saying he sees a future with you. He's showing you that love isn't just about how strong it starts, but how steadily it stays. 7. He values your opinions in big decisions. When a man truly values your opinions in big decisions, it's one of the most telling signs that he sees you as an equal partner, someone whose thoughts, feelings, and perspective genuinely matter to him. It may not always be dramatic or loud, but it's deeply meaningful. This isn't just about courtesy, it's about respect. It's his quiet way of saying, your voice belongs in my life. You'll notice it in moments that count. When he's thinking about switching jobs, moving to a new place, handling family matters, or making financial choices. Instead of deciding alone, he turns to you. Not because he needs permission, but because your insight adds value to his process. He trusts the way you see the world. He wants your input not just as someone he loves, but as someone he admires and respects. And it's not just about hearing your words, it's how he considers them. He listens with focus. He reflects on what you say. Sometimes he changes course because of it. Sometimes he blends your thoughts with his own. Either way, your opinion shapes the outcome. That kind of inclusion isn't casual. It's a sign of deep emotional connection. This behavior also shows that he's thinking long-term. People don't invite just anyone into their decision-making process, especially for big life choices. If he's doing that with you, it means he already sees you as part of his future. Your input matters because you matter, and because the life he's building isn't just for himself anymore. So when he leans in during the serious moments and says, "What do you think?" know that he's not just making conversation. He's giving you a seat at his table, a role in his journey, and a place in his plans. That's one of the most powerful silent ways a man says, "You're not just in my heart, you're in my life." 8. He talks about we instead of I. When a man starts using we instead of I, it's a subtle but deeply meaningful shift, one that reveals how he views the relationship and your place in his life. Without making a big speech, he begins to frame his world as something shared, not separate. It's no longer just about his journey, his goals, or his experiences. It's about what the two of you are building together. This small word change carries a quiet emotional weight. He might say, "We should try that restaurant," or "We could travel there next summer," or even, "We'll figure it out together." These phrases may seem simple, but they reflect a mindset that has shifted from individual to collective. It shows his thinking in terms of partnership, collaboration, and shared experience. What's powerful is that this habit usually forms naturally. He doesn't force it or say it to impress you. It just becomes the way he thinks and speaks because he already feels the bond growing deeper. He sees you as part of his future, so it only makes sense to talk like it. This kind of language also creates emotional security. When someone includes you in their thoughts about the future, it signals stability and intention. You're not just someone he's dating. You're someone he's merging his life with, thought by thought, step by step. So if you catch him slipping into we more often than I, don't brush it off. It's not just a word choice. It's a reflection of how his heart is expanding to make room for you. He may not say, "I love you" out loud just yet, but in his quiet use of we, he's already saying, "You're part of me now." 9. He makes an effort with your family and friends. When a man makes an effort with your family and friends, it's a silent but powerful sign that is emotionally invested in you and sees a future where your lives are fully connected. He understands that the people you care about are an extension of who you are, and if they matter to you, they matter to him too. This effort doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. It can be as simple as remembering your best friend's name, asking how your sibling is doing, or showing up to family gatherings even when it's outside his comfort zone. He might engage in conversation with your parents, offer help when your friend is moving, or quietly ask if your mom liked the gift you got her. These gestures reveal thoughtfulness and consideration, not just toward you, but toward your entire world. It also means his thinking long-term. A man who doesn't plan to stick around won't invest energy into getting to know the people close to you. But one who sees you in his future will want to build bridges, not just with you, but with those around you. He's not trying to impress them for show. He's trying to be part of their lives because he wants to be part of yours in a lasting way. Over time, you'll notice how genuine his effort is. He'll ask follow-up questions about people you've mentioned weeks ago. He'll be present, kind, and respectful during meetups. And even when the people in your life are challenging or complicated, he won't withdraw, because he's not just loving the easy parts of you, he's embracing the full picture. So when a man consistently makes that quiet effort with your loved ones, it's not just manners. It's a quiet declaration. I'm not just here for the moments with you. I'm here for the life that comes with you. 10. He checks in on your emotional well-being. When a man checks in on your emotional well-being, it's one of the most tender, quiet signs that he truly cares, not just about what you do, but how you feel. He's not just observing your life from the outside. He wants to understand your inner world. And that desire to understand, to connect emotionally, often speaks louder than any romantic words. He notices the subtle changes, the tone in your voice, the silence in your messages, the way your smile doesn't quite reach your eyes some days. He doesn't wait for you to break down or explode. Instead, he gently asks, "Are you okay?" Or "You seemed off lately. Want to talk about it?" These small, intentional check-ins are proof that he's paying attention, and more importantly, that he wants to be there with you in both the highs and the lows. Sometimes, emotional care shows up in actions rather than words. He might give you space when you need it, or sit in silence beside you when you're not ready to talk. He offers comfort, not solutions, and reminds you that your emotions are valid, not burdensome. You never feel like you have to hide your bad days around him, because he makes it clear that he wants to carry the weight with you, not avoid it. This kind of emotional support builds deep trust. You begin to feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. You know that is not only present during fun or convenient moments, but also during the hard, messy, and quiet ones. That level of care isn't surface-level attraction. It's the kind of love that grows roots. So when a man takes the time to check in on how you're really feeling, without needing a reason, and without making it about himself, that's a quiet, powerful way of saying, your heart matters to me. And that kind of love is the kind that stays. 11. He talks about future goals with you in mind. When a man talks about his future goals with you in mind, it's a deeply telling sign that he sees you as more than a part of his present. He envisions you as part of what's ahead. These conversations may not always sound like formal plans or big announcements. Often, they are woven into casual moments, spoken softly, but filled with meaning. He might say things like, when we get our own place, or if we ever have kids, or I want to build something stable for us. These phrases may seem simple, but they reveal something profound. He's mentally and emotionally including you in the life he's building. His goals are no longer about individual success or personal dreams. They are about creating a shared future, one where your happiness, growth, and stability are essential parts of the equation. Even when he talks about challenges, like career shifts, saving money, or relocating, you'll notice he factors in your opinion, your comfort, and your place in the equation. He's not just hoping you'll follow along. He's planning with you in mind from the start. That kind of thoughtfulness doesn't happen casually. It comes from genuine emotional investment. You might hear him make small references to timelines. I want to be at this point in 5 years, hopefully with you beside me. He may share dreams that feel vulnerable or long-term, building a home, starting a business, traveling the world. And your presence is always there, silent but steady in the vision. This isn't just sweet talk. It's a reflection of how he sees his life unfolding. When a man truly sees you in his future, he naturally includes you in his goals, not as an accessory, but as a partner. It means you're not just someone he loves now. You're someone he wants to grow with. And that quiet inclusion, that shared hope, is one of the most intimate ways he tells you he's serious, without having to say it outright. 12. He compromises without making you feel guilty. When a man compromises without making you feel guilty, it's a quiet, powerful sign that he respects you, values the relationship, and sees you as an equal partner in his life. Compromise isn't always easy. It requires maturity, patience, and empathy. But when he does it with grace, without resentment, and without keeping score, it reveals the depth of his emotional commitment. You'll notice it in the small, everyday decisions. Maybe he chooses your favorite movie over his, adjusts his schedule to make time for something important to you, or lets go of being right in an argument because he values peace more than pride. And he doesn't bring it up later as leverage. He doesn't sigh or act like a martyr. He just does it because your happiness and comfort matter to him. True compromise isn't about losing or giving in. It's about meeting in the middle, and doing so with kindness. A man who loves you silently shows this by making adjustments that allow both of you to thrive, not just him. He listens, adapts, and shifts when needed, not because he's trying to avoid conflict, but because he wants the relationship to grow in a way that honors you both. Even during disagreements, he communicates without blame. He's open to hearing your side. He doesn't belittle your needs or make you feel like a burden for wanting something different. Instead, he works with you to find a solution that feels fair and healthy. This kind of compromise, done without guilt or manipulation, is rare and deeply meaningful. It shows emotional intelligence, respect, and a future-focused mindset. When a man chooses your relationship over ego, time and time again, he's not just solving problems. He's showing you, in the quietest way, you matter more to me than being right. I want us to win together. And that's the kind of love that builds something lasting. 13. He's transparent about finances and priorities. When a man is transparent about his finances and priorities, it's a strong, quiet indicator that he trusts you, and that he sees you as someone he wants to build a real future with. Money can be a deeply personal topic, often wrapped in pride, fear, or uncertainty. So when he opens up about how he earns, saves, spends, or struggles. It's not just about numbers. It's about vulnerability, honesty, and shared vision. You'll notice he doesn't dodge conversations about financial goals. He's clear about what matters to him, whether it's saving for a home, paying off debts, supporting family, or investing in something long-term. More importantly, he starts to talk about how those priorities align with yours. Maybe he asks about how you view money, what stability looks like for you, or how you'd want to handle shared responsibilities one day. These aren't casual questions. They're quiet ways of saying, I'm thinking about how our lives fit together. Transparency in this area also shows that he's not trying to impress you with appearances. He'd rather be real with you than paint a picture that isn't accurate. That kind of honesty builds deep trust and lays the groundwork for partnership. You feel safe knowing where he stands, and you know he respects you enough to share the truth, even if it's not perfect. Beyond just money, this kind of openness reflects how he handles life in general. He's not hiding his priorities. He tells you what he values, what he's working toward, and what he's willing to sacrifice. And when those priorities start to include you, it means he's no longer thinking just as an individual, but as part of a potential us. So when a man talks openly about finances and life goals, without pressure, without games, and without hiding, he's telling you something deeper than, here's my plan. He's quietly saying, this is where I'm headed, and I want you there with me. 14. He shares his fears and dreams with you. When a man shares his fears and dreams with you, it's one of the most intimate, silent ways he lets you into his true self. Many men are taught to stay strong, to keep things inside, to not expose the parts of them that feel uncertain or vulnerable. So when he chooses to open up, to show you what scares him, what drives him, what he hopes for and what he doubts, it means he trusts you deeply. These moments don't always come with dramatic confessions. Sometimes, they unfold slowly. A late-night conversation where he admits he's afraid of failing. A quiet moment where he tells you about something he's always wanted to do but never had the courage. A look in his eyes when he talks about something that lights up his soul. A dream he's held on to since he was a kid. And is telling you, not the world, you. By sharing these things, he's showing you the raw, unfiltered version of himself. Not just the one who's confident and composed, but the one who wonders, hopes, fears, and grows. He's letting you see the man underneath the armor. That's not something he does with everyone. That's something sacred. And when he allows you to hold space for those emotions, when he knows you won't judge him, rush him, or dismiss his feelings, that's when he begins to feel emotionally safe. That kind of connection doesn't just happen. It's built over time, with honesty, compassion, and quiet understanding. So when a man starts letting you into the places he once kept hidden, know that it's more than just sharing stories. It's his heart speaking softly, saying, you matter. I trust you, and I want you to know all of me, not just the parts one show the world, but the ones I've always kept close. That's real love, unfolding without noise, just truth. 15. He treats your problems as our problems. When a man treats your problems as our problems, it's one of the most genuine and unspoken signs that he's deeply committed to you. He doesn't stand on the sidelines when you're struggling. Instead, he steps in, not to take control, but to carry the weight with you. He sees your pain, your stress, or your confusion, and instead of distancing himself, he leans in, quietly, steadily, and without needing recognition. He may not always have the perfect solution, and he may not say much, but his actions speak volumes. Whether it's helping you figure something out, sitting beside you through a tough moment, or simply checking in when he knows things aren't easy, he makes it clear, you don't have to go through it alone. Your struggles become his concern not because he feels obligated, but because your peace matters to him just as much as his own. You'll see it in the little things, the way he asks questions not to pry, but to understand. The way he listens, offers perspective, or simply sits with you in silence. He doesn't minimize what you're going through or tell you to get over it. Instead, he says, without always using words, we'll handle this together. This kind of shared responsibility is what builds true emotional intimacy. It tells you he's not just here for the good times, the fun moments, or the easy conversations. He's here for the tears, the uncertainty, and the days that feel heavy. And he doesn't keep score. He doesn't make you feel like a burden. Your struggles are never your mess to fix alone. They become something he chooses to face beside you. When a man does this consistently, it's his quiet way of saying, you're not alone anymore. We're a team. And whatever comes, I'm in it with you. That's the kind of love that doesn't shout. It shows. Through presence, through partnership, and through the gentle strength of showing up when it matters most.